Hi, everyone. My name is Carla. I'm a certified yoga instructor and I teach every Monday from 4 to 5. Today's class is going to be an hour long or a 55-minute long vinyasa with a 5-minute shavasana / meditation at the very end. So let's get started. So first, let's start off in a comfortable seat with our sit bones firmly pressed against the floor. Place your hands somewhere comfortably on your thighs and close your eyes. Take a big deep breath in, completely fill the chest up with air, and hold it at the very top for 1 second, and then slowly exhale. Completely empty the body of breath. And let your breathing return to normal. And then take a few seconds to ground yourself. Remind yourself you are in the here and now. In this class, taking this time out for yourself and your practice. Take a moment and feel the air around you. Feel the ground underneath you, the mat holding you up, supporting you. Now I invite you to to set an intention for yourself for the next hour of your practice today. When your intention is set, or whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes and we can get started. So if you have socks on, I invite you to take them off, just a little bit easier to do yoga without any socks on. We're going to start off with a couple stretches just to wake up the body, get it moving. So place your hands out to your sides. And on your next inhale, slowly flip the palms up so they're facing the ceiling. Stretch out the chest. Bring the arms high to the sky above your head. Really stretch them up as high as you can. Maybe wiggle the fingers out a little bit. And on your next exhale, slowly bring down that left hand. Keep the right one up. And as you inhale, stretch up that right hand a little bit higher. Just keep going. Try and see how far up you can stretch your fingertips. Just try and really reach for that ceiling. And then on your next inhale, bring that left arm high to the sky one more time. Take an exhale, sink the shoulders down. And then inhale again. Stretch those arms up high to the ceiling. Wiggle the fingertips again. When I'm really stretching, I like to wiggle the end of my limbs. And then as you exhale, slowly bring down that right arm. Keeping the left one high. Keep stretching it up. See how far up it can go. And then on your next exhale, bring down that left arm. Release. And just shake out the shoulders a little bit. Shake out the arms. And then on your next inhale, bring both of your arms in front of you. Really reach them out. Flip them so the palms are up. Wiggle the fingertips a little bit more. And then interlace the fingertips. And have your palms facing you. Have your hands up at about nose height. And hold them here. As you inhale, really stretch out your fingertips. So your hands. Stretch them as far away from you as you can. And with this movement here, really feel those shoulder blades spreading. And on your next inhale, flip the hands so that the palms are now facing out. And as you inhale, lift up those arms. And just let your arms pass your ears just a couple of inches behind you. Do a little back bend. Stretch your chin up towards the ceiling. Really stretch up those hands. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, bend over to the left. Keep stretching those hands. Really feel that right palm pushing out over to the left side. Then on your next inhale, come back up. Stretch up. Exhale, let the shoulders sink down. Flip the palms so that they're facing you and slowly bring them back down to nose height. And release the arms, shake them out. And then on your next inhale, interlace the fingertips again. Have your palms facing you. And really push them out again. Feel those shoulder blades spreading. And as you inhale, roll those shoulders back to a neutral pose. And then as you inhale, flip those hands, have the palms facing outwards, and stretch them back up. Let them pass your ears just a couple of inches. Slight back bend again. Then as you inhale, come up. Really stretch those palms up towards the ceiling. And then slowly bend over to the right as you exhale. Really feel that left palm stretching and pushing as far over to the right side as it can. As you inhale, bring those arms back to center. Flip the palms so they're facing you again. And slowly bring them down. Let them go all the way down this time. Shake them out again. Then we're going to intertwine our fingertips again, but this time behind your back, like this. And as you inhale, straighten those elbows, push those shoulders back, and lift that chest. If it feels good for you, let your fingertips touch the floor behind you, and just kind of use that to push your shoulders back a little bit more. With the movement before, with our hands in front of our face, we really let those shoulder blades spread out. Now we're going to let those shoulder blades squeeze together as those shoulders come back. We're going to really open up the chest here to kind of encourage this a little bit more. Take a deep breath in, really expand that chest, expand out those ribs. And tilt the chin up. Make a slight back bend, arch the spine, and then exhale, come back to a neutral position. Release the arms. Bring the arms down by your sides, neutral position, and stretch out both of the legs. Have the feet in front of you. Flex those toes high up to the sky. Really point them, straighten those knees, engage those quads. See if you can lift your heels up off of the mat. As you exhale, relax, point those toes. Press those toes down to the floor. See how low you can get them. Keep squeezing those quads. See if you can get a good little shin stretch here. Then let your feet relax. Try and see if you can spread out the toes a little bit. Wiggle them. Just wake them up a bit. And release the feet. Let them come back to center. And take both of your hands, make them little fists, and lightly tap down the legs. Just a light little massage, tapping down the front, down the sides, the insides. Just kind of get the blood flowing. If you've been sitting all day, haven't gotten a chance to move around, this is a pretty good way to wake up your legs. Be like, hey, we're moving today. And finish up your last round of this. And let the arms come by your sides once more. Press the palms flat on the mat and bend those knees. Have the feet a little bit more than hip width apart. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, let both knees come over to the left side. Try and keep that right hip in kind of a neutral position. It can come up a little bit, but this is more about really stretching out and warming up those hip joints. And as you inhale, bring the knees back to center, send them over to the right. I like to call these windshield wipers. And bring them back to center, send them all the way over to the left. And just back and forth like windshield wipers. We're just going to do this a couple of times, warm up those hip joints. Then finish up your last one. And let those feet come together. Quick butterfly. Grab your ankles, flap your butterfly a little bit, still waking up those hip joints. You can place your palms on your knees or on the insides of your knees. And just cut, not a big push down, but just a little press. Just encourage them to open up a tiny bit. Try and keep those feet pressed together. And grab those ankles one more time. And as you inhale, you're going to bring up those shoulders, press them high to the sky. Then you're going to roll them back and push out the chest. And kind of push off of those ankles, pulling them towards you, using them to send your shoulders back a little bit more. Arch that spine, lift that chest, squeeze those shoulder blades, and slightly tilt the chin. And then exhale, let those shoulders come forward, kind of rock back, and use your hands grabbing those ankles to support you as you spread out those shoulder blades and really bend that spine, pushing it back. And tuck the chin forward a little bit and really feel that back stretching out. And come back to a neutral position and meet me in table. In table, we're going to kind of copy the movement we just did with our back. So have your palms placed flat on the mat, all the fingertips touching and engaged. Have your knees be hip width apart and your shoulders shoulder width apart, your hands shoulder width apart. So your hands should be directly underneath those shoulders. And then as you inhale, we're going to tilt the pelvis forward, push that middle of the spine down towards the mat, squeeze those shoulder blades together, push that chest forward, and tilt the chin. And then as you exhale, we're going to do the opposite. So push that pelvis back, really tuck it, tilt the chin down, and push the middle of the spine up high and feel those shoulder blades spreading out. And then as you inhale, really push that middle of the spine down, push those shoulders back, and tilt the chin up. And then exhale, push that middle of the spine upwards, tuck the tailbone, spread out the shoulder blades, and look down. And we're going to do this 3 more times. You can do it on your own. Make sure you inhale as you arch that spine, tilt that chin. And as that spine comes up and that tailbone tucks, you want to deeply exhale, really create space in the front body, or empty out that front body. Then when you finish up your last one, come to center. And readjust if you switched up your positioning a little bit. And flip those toes so the bottom of the toes are touching the mat. Take a moment and really press those hands, those fingertips into the mat. Make sure you're in a good stable position. And take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, push those sit bones back with those toes flipped for a little foot stretch. You can kind of pulse a little bit here. And on your next inhale, come up, squeeze that core, really push those hands into the mat. And as you inhale, lift the knees above the mat, above about 3 inches. And just kind of hold here. Try and make sure that you're keeping that integrity of the spine, that your back is still staying flat like it was in that tabletop position. And on your next exhale, slowly bring those knees down. Flip the toes so the tops of the toes are touching the mat. And spread out those knees so they're closer to the ends of the mat. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, slowly push back those sit bones again so they meet your heels. Really stretch those arms forward, those fingertips forward, and let the forehead touch the mat for child's pose or extended child. Just hold here for a couple of seconds, a couple of breaths. Take a moment and recenter yourself. Try and find a little grounding here if you can. Check in with yourself, the body, the mind. Feel the mat under you. Feel its texture, how it supports you and holds you up. Try and feel all points of contact your body has with the mat, how it feels against your skin, against your clothes. And on your next inhale, come back up. Bring those knees closer together, hips width apart again. Back to table. And flip those toes once again, so the bottom of the toes are touching the mat. As you inhale, slowly lift up those knees a couple of inches. Hold here for a couple of seconds. And on your next exhale, bring them down. Flip those toes again. Let the tops of the toes touch, the tops of the feet touch the mat. Then on your next inhale, you're going to stretch out that right leg, but let the toes still be touching the mat. Once you're in position, sorry, let me go forward a little bit. Once you're in position, squeeze that core and inhale and slowly lift up that leg. Bring it up as high as you can. Tilt the chin up, arch the spine a little bit maybe, and then come back to neutral position, lower it so it's basically parallel with the floor. And from here, we're going to make little circles and just keep making them bigger as you go. Just kind of warm up that leg, those glute muscles, thigh muscles. Try and keep that leg as straight as you can. Now we're going to just kind of wake up the core a little bit with this one. So switch your circles to the other side or the other direction. And finish up your last one and bring that leg back to center. And take a deep breath in, squeeze that core. And now we're going to bring that leg out to the side. So kind of shift your hips. And as you inhale, try and push it out. See if you can recenter yourself in your hips. And then bring it back behind. We're going to do this 3 more times. So as you inhale, shift out that leg, try and keep it parallel to the floor and try to not lean over all the way to the left side. And bring it behind you. And then 2 more times. Inhale, bring it out to the side, try to stay centered, and then bring it behind you. 1 more time. Inhale, bring it out to the side, and then bring it behind you. Then lower that leg. Now we're going to switch sides, and just so I don't kick my cabinet, I'm going to turn. So on your next inhale, squeeze that core. Make sure those hands are completely pressed into the mat, strong and stable. And as you inhale, slowly lift up that left leg. Try and bring it up as high as you can. Tilt that chin up, really stretch it up high, and then let it come back down so it's about parallel with the mat. Once you're in position, start making little circles, and then slowly make them bigger. See if you can have it so the only part of your body that's moving is your leg. So that means really engaging your core and staying strong. And on your next inhale, switch the direction of your circles and start off small again. Keep that core squeezed really tight and then keep going. Make them a little bit bigger or as big as you can. See how big and dramatic you can make them. And make sure this movement is still steady and controlled. Then finish up your last circle and let your legs stabilize back so it's parallel with the mat. And again, we're going to really wake up that core with this one and the side hips a little bit. So take a deep breath in, squeeze that core, press those hands into the mat, and we're going to bring that left leg out to the side, keeping it parallel with the floor. Try and see if you can stabilize yourself and recenter yourself over the mat. Really squeeze that core. Then bring it behind you. Take a second here, press those hands in, squeeze that core. We're going to do this 3 more times. So inhale, bring that leg out to the side. See if you can stabilize your leg and your body. Really, it takes a lot of core. Then swing it behind you. And then 2 more times. Inhale, bring it out to the side, keep it parallel, and try and see if you can push it out and keep yourself stable. And behind. And then 1 more time. On your next inhale, sweep it out to the side and hold. Really squeeze that core. And then sweep it back behind. And as you exhale, bend that knee. Come back to table. Sorry, my yoga mat's a little dirty. And then on your next inhale, you're going to flip those toes so they're touching the mat. We're going to squeeze that core, look down in between those hands. Really press those toes down, press those fingertips down, all the way to your second knuckle. Second or third knuckles should be pressed down. Then as you inhale, you're going to straighten the legs and push the glutes and the sit bones up towards the sky. Here in dog, you should be focusing on 2 movements at the same time that open up the back of those legs. So you're going to be pressing those heels down into the mat as far as they can go and lifting those hip bones high. So you're just really creating space here in the back of the legs, really trying to stretch them as long as they can go. Then you want to be really pushing up off of those hands, creating space in the armpits. Just hold it here for a little bit, get comfortable in your dog. Walk your dog a little bit, so bend one knee, press down the other heel. Just alternate. You can let the hips move a little bit with this, just get comfortable with it. Really feel a good stretch in the legs here, and the calves and the hamstrings. Make sure those hands are really pressing in. That back is stretching, those shoulders are engaged. And then on your next inhale, we're going to walk our way up to our hands to the top of the mat. Once you get here, opposite hand grabs the opposite elbow. Once you got a firm grasp, just really let those elbows hang down. Let them weigh you down a little bit. Add some weight, bringing your head down closer to the mat. Just swing side to side here. Get a good little movement going. Really feel those feet rooted into the mat. Feel the back of the legs lengthening. Don't be afraid to lean forward a little bit, but obviously not so forward so that you fall. Make sure those legs are hips width apart. You can shake your head here, no, stretch out the neck, nod it yes. And on your next exhale, release those arms, let them come down to the mat or as close as they can go. Lower the head so that the crown of the head is facing directly down, so your eyes should be looking at the front of your legs. Then put a slight bend in your knee, squeeze that core, and as you inhale, sweep the arms and the body up and high to the sky. And then flip those palms, push them up high. And then as you exhale, release those arms and shake them out a little bit. And then inhale, sweep them back up. Let them come together, those palms touching. Take a deep breath in, really lengthen that torso. And as you exhale, lean back a little bit for a little back bend. And as you inhale, come up. Exhale, find yourself in center. And then as you inhale, flip those palms so that they're facing the ceiling. And as you exhale, let the arms swan dive down, sweep the mat, touch your hands to your shins, straighten the elbows, lengthen the spine, and look up. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, let that head come down as close as it can to the bottom of to the mat, to the floor. And let the hands touch the mat. You can bend your knees if you need to, and walk out into plank. From here, really squeeze your core. Feel those arms pushing you up against the mat. On your next exhale, bring the knees down to the mat. Flip the toes so that the tops of the toes are touching the mat. Keeping those elbows in close. Slowly bring your chest down. Let the chin follow. And then as you inhale, push up with the arms, straighten the elbows, and push your chest up high for upward dog. Really feel the back stretch out here. Try and keep lengthening the spine so the bottom of the spine isn't crushed. And on your next inhale, bend the knees. Back to table. From table, flip those toes so the bottom of the toes are touching the mat. And then as you inhale, straighten the knees and back to dog. Once in dog, you're going to lift up that left leg, bring it high to the sky, and make little circles with the ankle. Or just rotate the ankle. And rotate it the other way. Definitely feel mine cracking a little bit. Now you're going to squeeze the core and slowly bend that knee, bring the thigh into the chest. On your next inhale, you're going to slowly push yourself forward so that the shoulders are over the hands. And then as you inhale, you're going to stretch out that leg again, push yourself back. And then exhale, bring that knee and the torso forward. We're going to do this 2 more times. Inhale, push that leg back, straighten the knee. Exhale, bend that knee, bring it into the chest and push forward. And 1 more time. Inhale, bring that foot and the body back. Exhale, bring that foot and the body forward. And here you're going to really push off of those hands, create space in between your chest and the mat, and place that left leg down. And on your next inhale, you're going to lift up the arms and bring them high to the sky. Have the palms facing each other for a high lunge. For proper positioning here, you want that knee to be right over the heel or the ankle, completely perpendicular to the mat. You want to be engaging both quads, pushing the back knee of the back leg out. You want to make sure you're not leaning forward and that your spine is pointing directly down towards the mat. We're going to do some twists here. So take a deep breath in, lift those fingertips up high towards the mat. And as you exhale, we're going to twist over to the left. Place that right hand on the left thigh, that left hand on the right thigh, and twist. Look back behind you if you can. For your best balance, you got to keep that core squeezed. On your next inhale, lift up those arms, bring them high to the sky. Exhale, twist over to the right. Then on your next inhale, bring those arms back up. Have them parallel. And start really shifting your weight into that front foot. So come onto mostly your toes or the ball of your foot for the back leg. And keeping that front knee bent, we're going to meet it with our back knee or the right knee. Or the right foot is going to come to the left foot. So take a deep breath in, lift that right foot off of the mat, have it meet the left foot, keeping those knees bent in chair. Here, the main focus is not how low you can go, but proper positioning. So you want to kind of make a straight line with your arms and your spine. all the way down to the sit bones. So while you're sinking those hip bones down, you want to be really focusing on bringing those hands up. We're going to hold this for 2 more breaths. Really start some heat up in those legs. Make sure you're breathing. On your next exhale, swing those arms down, straighten the legs. On your next inhale, put a slight bend in the knees, sweep those arms high to the sky, stretch them up high, wiggle those fingertips, and then as you exhale, swan dive down. Let those hands come to those shins, press them against each other, straighten those elbows, lengthen the spine, and look up. On your next exhale, bring the crown of the head down towards the mat. Down towards the mat. Place your hands down next to your feet. And on your next exhale, walk out into plank. Hold here for 1 breath. Feel that core engage. And as you exhale, bring those knees down to the mat. Flip the toes so that the tops of the toes are touching the mat. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, hugging those elbows in to your ribs, you want to slowly send the chest down towards the mat. Then the chin follows. Once they reach the mat, you want to take a deep inhale and bring those hip bones down towards the mat. And tilt the chin up for upward dog. Then on your next inhale, you want to bring yourself back up to table. Take a minute to find your center. Few breaths if need be. And then flip those toes. Flip those toes so that the bottom of the toes are touching the mat. Squeeze the core. And you guys know what's next. Straighten those knees and push back into downward dog. Take a minute, maybe shift the hips a little bit, shift the heels, and find a comfortable dog. And on your next inhale, slowly sweep up that right leg high to the sky. Make little circles with the ankle. And then make circles the other way. Rotate the ankle. On your next exhale, you want to bend that knee, bring it into the chest, push the torso forward so the shoulders are directly over the wrists. Squeeze that core. And as you inhale, you want to push out that foot, push the body back. And do this 3 more times. So exhale, bend that knee, bring it into the chest, and shoulders come forward. Inhale, push out that foot, shoulders go back. And 2 more times, bend that knee, push the shoulders forward. Inhale, push the shoulders back. And 1 last time, bend that knee, come forward. And this time, really make space between your chest and the mat. And on your next inhale, place that right foot in between the hands. Squeeze the core, really press down the feet. Have all 4 points of contact with your foot. Really pressing into the mat. Squeeze your core, and on your next inhale, bring those arms up. Stretch them up to the sky and sink down. For proper positioning here, you want your knee to be directly over the ankle, perpendicular to the mat. Really stretch those arms up high. You want your palms to be facing each other, a little parallel, or definitely parallel. You can wiggle those fingertips a little bit, if need be. Make sure that that tailbone is shooting straight down. It's not pointed back or forward. Really make sure that both quads are engaged, that back knee of that back leg is shooting out, that front knee of the front leg is pushing forward. Now we're going to do another little twist. So on your next inhale, really push those arms up high. Then as you exhale, twist over the right. Left hand comes to right thigh. Right hand comes to left thigh. And look behind you if you can. And then on your next inhale, sweep those arms back up, back to parallel, and then exhale, twist over to the left. Right hand goes to right thigh, left hand goes to left thigh, and twist. Look behind you if you can. Then on your next inhale, bring the torso back forward, sweep those arms back up, and come up more onto the ball of the back foot. Keep that front knee bent. Really start pressing most of your weight over to the front foot and keeping that right knee bent. We're going to bring the left foot forward to meet it. So on your next inhale, lift that back foot off the mat, bring it to the right, and keep the knees bent. So you're in chair. Again, you want to make sure that your back body is making a straight line all the way up towards your arms. So you want to be bringing that tailbone down while pushing those arms up. So most of the body is engaged here. Definitely a very heat building position. We're going to hold this for a couple of breaths. Make sure that you're still breathing. Smile if there's a lot of tension in your face. Take 2 more deep breaths. And then on your next exhale, sweep those arms down, straighten the knees. Bring the crown of the head down. On your next inhale, put a slight bend in the knees and sweep those arms and the chest up high. Bring those arms directly above the head. Really push them up. Take a deep breath in, fill the chest with air. And then as you exhale, sweep those arms down and the torso down. On your next inhale, hands come to shins, straighten those elbows, lengthen the spine, and look up. And then as you exhale, bring the crown of the head or the top of the head down towards the mat. Look at the front of the legs. Place those hands down onto the mat. And on your next exhale, walk out into plank. Hold plank for 1 breath. Really feel that core engage. And on your next exhale, bring those knees down. Flip the toes so the tops of the toes are touching the mat. The tops of the toes are touching the mat. Squeezing those elbows in. Slowly bring the chest down. And the chin follows. Once they reach the mat, take a deep breath in. Push the hips down. Straighten the elbows and look up. Push out the chest. Squeeze the shoulder blades. Make sure you're really pushing off of those hands and lengthening the spine. And then on your next inhale, come back up to table. Spread out those knees so that they're closer to the edges of the mat. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, push that tailbone down to the feet or the heels. Push those hands forward or slide them forward on the mat and bring the forehead down to the mat for child's pose. And take this as a quick 5-second check-in for the body, for the mind. Just check in quickly, see what's going on. If the body needs anything, if it wants anything from you. And whenever you're ready or on your next inhale, bring those arms back up and bring yourself back up to table. Once you're in table, flip those toes so that the bottom of the toes are touching the mat. Take a deep breath in, and as you inhale, straighten those legs, push the tailbone up high towards the sky, and back to downward dog. Once you're in dog, on your next inhale, sweep that left leg up and back. Bend that left knee, push your heel into your left glute, and send it over to the right side. Here you want to make sure that you're keeping those shoulders and that chest parallel with the mat. You don't want to be sending them over to the right side as well. And then on your next exhale, bring that knee into your chest. Sweep the chest forward. Really push off of those hands. Create space between the chest and the mat. And place that left leg in between the hands. Take a moment here. Make sure that the front foot is really gripping the mat. That thigh is engaged, that core is engaged. And on your next inhale, sweep the arms up. And from here, turn that right heel so that it's parallel with the back of the mat. You want to be really pressing the outside of that right foot down onto the mat, kind of lifting up that arch while keeping that chest parallel with the front of the mat. For warrior two. Then you want to slowly turn that chest out over to the right. Let me turn so you guys can see. You want to turn that chest out to the right, straighten those arms. And on your next inhale, as you inhale, you want to push forward, really reach that left arm out. And as you exhale, you want to bend that elbow so that the left forearm is touching the left thigh. And as you inhale, you want to stretch up and over that right arm so that right bicep is close to the right ear. Really feel a good stretch here in the right side. Then on your next inhale, you want to bring that right arm back behind you again and bring up that left arm so that they're parallel with the mat once again. On your next inhale, you want to straighten that left leg and slowly start pushing that right hip back. And reach out that left hand once more. When you've gone as far as you can go, exhale and bring that left hand down onto your shin or thigh. Sweep that right hand up so that your arms are still making a straight line. And look up at your right thumb for triangle. Then on your next inhale, you want to put a slight bend in your front knee. Squeeze the core, come back up, bend that front knee all the way. Take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, you want to stretch that right arm back. When you've gone as far as you can go, bring that right hand down to that right thigh and bring that left hand up. Make sure that your knee is staying bent and that shin or that right knee is still over the right ankle. The left knee is still over the left ankle. Sorry. And look up at that left thumb for a little back bend. And on your next inhale, bring the arms back up. Straighten that front leg one more time. And turn the left leg so that it's parallel with the right. From here, as you inhale, you want to bring up those arms. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, you want to bring over that right hand to the left ankle. Keep that left hand up and look up at your thumb for a little twist. Then on your next exhale, you want to bring that left hand down, also to that left ankle, and walk your hands out to in between the feet. And once again, opposite hand grabs opposite elbow, and just kind of hang here. Let the head drop. Relax the neck. Then on your next exhale, release the hands. Walk them over to the right side. And with your left hand, grab that right ankle. And as you inhale, Sweep up that right hand and look up at your right thumb for another twist. And on your next exhale, bring down that right hand and walk your hands out to the center of the mat. Put a slight bend in the knees. And as you inhale, come up. And now slowly turn that right foot out so it's facing the front of the mat, or I guess the new front of the mat, and bend that right knee. Then on your next inhale, you want to push forward with that right hand as far as you can go. And as you exhale, you want to bend that right elbow. So the right forearm touches the right thigh. Sweep that left hand up and over so that your left bicep is close to the left ear. And just breathe. Really feel that left side stretching. And then as you inhale, bring those arms back up so that they're parallel with the mat once more. Straighten that right knee. Kind of push out that left hip. Push it back. And as you inhale, really stretch that right hand forward again. And on your next exhale, bring that right hand down to the right shin. Bring that left hand up and look up at your thumb for triangle. Or look out in front of you if that's more comfortable. Feel a good stretch here in that left side. Then put a slight bend in the front knee and come up. On your next exhale, bend that right knee once again so that knee is right over that ankle. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, you want to stretch that left hand back behind you. When you've gone as far as you can go, place that left hand on that left thigh, keeping that front knee bent. Bring that right hand up and look up at your thumb for a slight back bend. And on your next exhale, bring that right hand down, that left hand comes back up. Hold this for one last breath. And then bring that right hand down to the mat. Left hand follows, rotate that back foot. Press both hands into the mat, framing the foot. Squeeze the core and send that right foot back. And bring the chest down so you're back into plank. Take a deep breath in. And on your next exhale, bring those knees down to the mat. Flip the toes so the tops of the toes are touching the mat. Keeping those elbows close. Bring that chest down. Chin follows. Once they reach the mat, straighten those elbows, bring those hips down, and look up. And on your next inhale, bend those knees, come back to table. And this time, come into a comfortable seat. And bring those knees up. So press those feet flat into the mat. Keep your feet about hips width apart. When they're firmly pressed, slowly send the spine down towards the mat and let the head lay flat. From here, you want to really push those heels into the mat. Squeeze the core, and on your next inhale, slowly send those hips up. Try and make a straight line here with your chest, torso, stomach, and thighs. You want to try and keep your heels or your ankles directly under the knees. Really tuck the tailbone, squeeze the glutes. If it's easier, you can kind of tuck the shoulders, squeeze the shoulder blades in, push the chest up. And we're just going to hold. If you want to add a little bit more heat or challenge to this pose, you can squeeze that core, and as you inhale, slowly lift up that left leg, bring it high to the sky. And then on your next exhale, bend that left foot and bring it back down to the mat. If you did the left side, you should do the right as well. So now squeeze that core, and on your next inhale, slowly send up that right leg, straighten the knee, push the heel up, and hold. Try and keep your body stabilized, so really squeeze the core. And on your next exhale, bend that right knee and send it back down. Take one last deep breath in. My God, this song's been playing. Take one last deep breath in, and as you exhale, slowly bring the spine down, one vertebrae at a time. And on your next inhale, bring your right knee into your chest, grab it with that right hand. Bring that left knee up, grab it with your left hand. And here you can wrap your arms around the shins. Just kind of make yourself a little ball. You can rock side to side, give the spine a little massage. And cross the ankles. And place both hands on the right leg. And let that left leg stretch out down towards the mat. So that it's flat on the mat. Then place both hands on the right hamstring. Let your fingers interlace. Make sure those hips are squared. And on your next inhale, straighten that right leg. Flex that foot so that the heel, or so that the foot and toes are really pulling towards you. And engage that quad so that that knee and leg are straight. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, slowly push your hamstring. Oh my God, my foot is vibrating. Slowly push that leg towards you. It's been a long day. This should be a deep stretch, but not a painful one. And then on your next exhale, bend that knee. Hug it into the chest once more. And bring up that left leg to meet it. Hug your knees into your chest one more time. Give yourself a little hug. And then place both hands onto the left leg or left shin. And let that right leg go. So it's flat down onto the mat. And then place both hands on that left hamstring. Straighten that leg. Engage that quad. And flex that foot. So really press those toes down towards you. Take a deep breath in, and on your next exhale, slowly push your leg closer to you for a good hamstring stretch. You want to be really trying to push that leg towards you while keeping your knee straight and flexing that foot. And on your next exhale, bend that right knee or that left knee. Hug it into your chest once more, and then let it go. So now you're lying flat onto the mat. From here, let those arms kind of flop out to a comfortable position. Palms facing upwards if that feels best for you. Let the feet flop out too, out to your sides. You want to take a moment and get comfortable. like putting on your socks or grabbing a blanket. I invite you to do that now. Once you've gotten comfortable, close the eyes. If it helps you stay mindful, you can place your hands onto the stomach and feel your breath. I invite you to take this moment to reflect on your intention that you set for today. And then take a moment and try and see if you can embody the word peace, whatever that means to you, with your mind, body, and soul. If you can embrace quiet and stillness while keeping awareness. You can stay in your Shavasana or peaceful rest as long as you'd like, but I invite you, if not, to roll over to your right side, bending both knees and cradling the head, keeping the eyes closed. Press your hand down into the mat and slowly push yourself up and find yourself once again in a comfortable seat with the eyes closed. And here, take a moment of gratitude to say thank you for yourself and for your body, for taking this time out of your day for your practice, for you and only you. and the connection of the mind, body, and soul. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. And that's my class. Thanks for anybody who joined the live stream, or anybody that's watching later. And namaste. I'll see you guys next week.